We often believe the refrigerator is the safest place for our fresh produce and pantry staples. We've all done it. Pop something into the fridge thinking, this will keep it fresh. But here's the twist. For certain foods, that icy shelf is not your friend. In fact, it can quietly speed up nutrient loss, trigger harmful compounds, and, in some cases, even increase your risk for chronic illness. I'm Dr. Masayuki, and welcome to Life in Harmony. In the last video, we talked about 7 Asian collagen-boosting secrets for ageless, glowing skin. Today, I'm revealing 7 everyday foods that should never meet the inside of your fridge. We'll talk about how cold storage can sabotage their flavor, texture, and, most importantly, their disease-fighting power. By the end, you'll know exactly where to store them so they keep their anti-aging, collagen-boosting, and inflammation-fighting benefits intact. Number 1. Raw potatoes. If you've been storing raw potatoes in the fridge, you're not alone, but this is one habit worth breaking. At first glance, cold temperatures might seem harmless, even helpful. But for potatoes, refrigeration triggers a chemical reaction that quietly transforms their starch into sugars. Why is that a problem? Well, when these sugar-loaded potatoes are later cooked at high heat, think roasting, baking, or frying, those sugars interact with amino acids to form acrylamide, a potentially harmful compound linked in studies to increased cancer risk. The cooler the storage, the more pronounced the sugar shift. Nutritionally, potatoes are actually a decent ally for skin and joint health when prepared right. They're a source of vitamin C, important for collagen production, along with potassium, which helps regulate fluid balance and reduce puffiness. But cold-induced sugar changes not only impact safety, they also affect taste, giving cooked potatoes an oddly sweet, off-putting flavor. The ideal potato storage mimics their natural underground environment, cool, but not cold, dark, and dry. Aim for around 7 to 10 degrees Celsius, 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. A paper bag in a pantry, cellar, or even a shaded kitchen cupboard works well. Avoid plastic bags. They trap moisture, encouraging sprouting and mold. And speaking of sprouts, they're not just unsightly. They can indicate increased levels of solanine, a natural toxin that can cause digestive upset in large amounts. From an anti-aging perspective, you might think potatoes don't fit the bill. But when cooked healthily, like steaming or boiling, then cooling to increase resistant starch, they can provide slow-release energy, support gut health, and help manage inflammation. Just keep them out of the fridge so you're getting their benefits without the extra risks. Think of it this way. Potatoes are like that friend who thrives in a comfortable, low-drama environment. Too much cold, and they change in ways you won't like. Treat them right, and they can be a surprisingly supportive part of your diet for vibrant skin, steady energy, and overall health. Number 2. Tomatoes. Okay, let's talk tomatoes. These bright, juicy beauties are one of nature's best gifts, not just for your taste buds, but for your skin, heart, and overall health. But if you've been popping them into the fridge right after buying them, I've got some bad news. You might be robbing them of their anti-aging magic. Here's the science part. When tomatoes are stored in the cold, their delicate cell membranes start to break down. This damage turns that plump, firm texture into something watery and grainy. You've tasted that disappointment before, right? Worse yet, refrigeration stops their natural ripening process. And that's a big deal, because ripening is when tomatoes produce lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that helps fight oxidative stress, supports collagen production, and may reduce the risk of certain cancers. There's research from the USDA showing that chilling tomatoes under 55 degrees Fahrenheit significantly reduces lycopene content. That means fewer anti-aging and anti-inflammatory benefits for you, and less of that vibrant red color that signals a nutrient-rich tomato. I remember one of my patients, Linda, who swore by her daily fresh tomato salad for her skin. She was puzzled why they started tasting bland. and why she wasn't noticing the same glow. We traced it back to her habit of storing them in the fridge for a week at a time. When she switched to a bowl on her kitchen counter, away from direct sunlight, the flavor and her results came back. Here's what to do instead. Keep your tomatoes at room temperature, ideally in an airy basket, stem side down to slow moisture loss. If you've got green tomatoes, place them in a paper bag with a banana or apple. Both release ethylene gas, which speeds ripening naturally. And a quick safety tip: avoid eating the very green parts or leaves, as they contain solanine, which can be toxic in large amounts. Treat your tomatoes like the delicate treasures they are, and they'll reward you with rich flavor, vibrant color, and anti-aging power. Number 3. Bread. Let's jump into bread, a staple many of us rely on daily, but one that surprisingly doesn't do well in the fridge. Have you ever pulled bread out of the fridge, only to find it hard as a rock or flavorless? You're not alone, and here's why that happens. When bread chills, a process called starch retrogradation kicks in. Think of it like bread molecules rearranging themselves in a way that squeezes out moisture, making your loaf dry, crumbly, and tough. This also zaps the aroma and chewiness that make fresh bread so satisfying. So, chilling bread is a bit of a paradox. It might slow mold for a short time, but the fridge's humidity can actually encourage mold growth over time. Now, here's a science-backed twist you might not know. Freezing bread, on the other hand, preserves nutrients and even forms something called resistant starch after you reheat it. This type of starch is fantastic for your gut microbiome and helps keep your blood sugar steady, two key players in anti-aging and inflammation control. Here's what I recommend. If you plan to eat bread within 2 days, keep it in an airtight container or cloth bag at room temperature. For anything longer, slice and freeze your bread. When you're ready to enjoy it, toast or warm it in the oven to revive that fresh texture and flavor. I remember one patient, Mrs. Reynolds, who struggled with blood sugar spikes and was trying to improve her diet for better skin and energy. Once she switched from refrigerated bread to frozen and reheated bread, she noticed smoother blood sugar levels and less skin inflammation. Small changes, big impact. So next time, skip the fridge for bread, freeze it, toast it, and keep your meals delicious and nourishing. Number 4. Avocados. Okay, let's move on to avocados. Those creamy, luscious fruits many of us love for their healthy fats and skin-boosting nutrients. But did you know that refrigerating avocados before they're ripe can actually ruin their texture and nutrition? Here's the deal. Avocados need room temperature to ripen properly. When you pop them in the fridge too early, the cold stops the natural enzymes that soften the fruit. The result? A hard, fibrous, and bitter avocado that's a real letdown. Plus, the cold can degrade those healthy monounsaturated fats, MUFA, antioxidants like lutein and vitamin E, and the fiber that supports digestion and collagen health. I used to be guilty of this myself. I'd grab a hard avocado, toss it in the fridge hoping it'd ripen there. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Instead, I learned that the best way to speed ripening is to place your avocado in a paper bag with a banana or apple. These fruits release ethylene gas, a natural plant hormone that encourages ripening. Once ripe, you can refrigerate the avocado for up to 2 days to slow it down and keep it fresh. If you've cut into an avocado and want to store it, squeezing some lemon or lime juice on the exposed flesh helps prevent browning and keeps those antioxidants working for you. For extra convenience, freezing ripe avocado is a smart option for smoothies, sauces, or spreads, though texture changes a bit once thawed. One patient I worked with, Sarah, was frustrated because her avocados always ended up mushy or bitter. After trying this method, she reported better digestion, less bloating, and even noticed her skin looking more vibrant. It's amazing how small tweaks like this can support anti-aging from the inside out. So, remember, patience is key with avocados. Let them ripen on the counter, Then chill briefly if needed. Your body and taste buds will thank you. Number 5. Bananas. Now, let's talk about bananas, those convenient sweet snacks many of us reach for every day. But did you know that tossing bananas into the fridge can actually do more harm than good, especially when it comes to their texture and health benefits? Here's what happens. Cold temperatures cause the banana peel to darken and become spotty, which might look unappetizing but doesn't necessarily mean the inside is bad. However, the cold also breaks down the pigments and alters the texture inside, making the fruit mealy and less pleasant to eat. More importantly, refrigeration reduces the bioavailability of some nutrients, meaning your body can't absorb them as efficiently. Now, here's a critical point for those mindful about blood sugar and anti-aging. As bananas ripen, their glycemic index rises. That means very ripe bananas release sugar into your bloodstream more quickly, potentially causing insulin spikes. Over time, frequent spikes can contribute to insulin resistance, obesity, and even increase the risk for certain cancers linked to inflammation. I remember a patient of mine, James, who loved bananas but struggled with blood sugar control. We worked together on storage and ripeness timing, making sure he ate bananas at the right stage and stored them properly. He found his energy stayed more stable and his blood sugar was easier to manage, a small change that made a big difference. So, what's the best way to store bananas? Keep them at room temperature until ripe, and if you want to slow down the ripening process, wrap the stems in foil or plastic wrap. And if you have extra ripe bananas, peel and freeze the slices, perfect for smoothies or healthy desserts without worrying about waste. Bananas are great collagen-boosting snacks, packed with potassium and antioxidants. But smart storage helps preserve those benefits and supports your anti-aging journey. Number 6. Garlic. Alright, now let's move on to garlic, that flavorful staple in kitchens worldwide, famous not just for taste but also for its powerful health benefits, especially for inflammation and even cancer prevention. Have you ever noticed garlic sprouting green shoots after being in the fridge? That's a sign refrigeration is doing more harm than good. Cold storage encourages garlic to sprout, and sprouting significantly reduces allicin, the star compound responsible for garlic's anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and anti-cancer effects. Losing allicin means losing a big chunk of garlic's health-boosting power. There's also a safety concern I want you to be aware of. Some people store chopped garlic in oil at room temperature. This sounds convenient, but it can create the perfect environment for Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria that causes botulism, a serious food poisoning. So, always store garlic in a cool, dry, well-ventilated place and freeze chopped portions instead of keeping them at room temp in oil. A simple tip to maximize garlic's benefits: crush or chop it and let it sit for about 10 minutes before cooking. This waiting time lets allicin fully develop, boosting its collagen-supporting and anti-aging effects. I once worked with a lovely woman, Susan, who had chronic joint pain. Adding properly stored and prepared garlic to her diet helped reduce inflammation noticeably over a few months. It's small, everyday habits like these that really add up. So, keep your whole garlic bulbs out of the fridge, in a breathable basket or mesh bag, and freeze chopped garlic if needed. That way, you keep the good stuff intact and support your body's fight against aging and inflammation. Number 7. Honey. Now, let's talk about honey, nature's golden sweetener, loved not only for taste, but also for its soothing, healing properties. You might think keeping honey in the fridge helps preserve it longer, right? Well, actually, cold temperatures cause honey to crystallize. That means it turns grainy, thick, and separates, not exactly the smooth liquid gold we want drizzled on our tea or toast. Worse yet, heating honey too much, above about 40 degrees Celsius, that's around 104 degrees Fahrenheit, destroys many of its beneficial enzymes and antioxidants. These compounds play a key role in fighting inflammation and supporting your skin's collagen, helping you age gracefully. Here's a simple storage tip. Keep honey in a sealed jar at room temperature, away from direct sunlight and humidity. This keeps it smooth and preserves its nutrient-rich goodness. Also, a word of caution. Honey is high in natural sugars. If overused, it can contribute to increased blood sugar, fat storage, and inflammation, factors that speed up aging and raise chronic disease risks. So, think of honey like a medicine. 1 teaspoon once or twice a day can soothe a sore throat or support your immune system. But daily overconsumption isn't a good idea. I had a patient struggling with skin dryness and premature wrinkles. Introducing small amounts of raw honey as a natural sweetener and topical mask helped improve her skin texture over time. The antioxidants made a real difference. So remember, no fridge for honey, moderate use, and enjoy its benefits without the downsides. Refrigeration isn't always the safest choice. For these 7 foods, potatoes, tomatoes, bread, avocados, bananas, garlic, and honey, cold can strip away nutrients, ruin texture, and even promote harmful compounds linked to inflammation, faster aging, and cancer. But here's the good news. Simple changes in how you store them can make a big difference in protecting your health, boosting collagen production, and supporting your anti-aging goals. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more science-backed tips on healthy aging and vibrant living. Take care of yourself. You deserve it.